Hello everyone, so welcome to our class again. Yeah, the scope, the notion of the system, international system according to release, international system according to liberal and radicals. The last one, radicals. Constructivism and international system change, advantages and disadvantages of international system are high-level analysis, and in sum from international system to the state. The notion of a system is an assemblage of unit objects and parts united by some form of regular interaction. Assemblage means collection. In the 1950s, the behavioral revolutions in the social sciences and growing acceptance of political realism in international relations led scholars to conceptualize international politics as a system using language of system theory. So here is some idea about polarity in the international system. So the top one we call multi-system. So in 19th century balance of power have what Great Britain, Austria, Hungary, France, Russia and Germany. Okay. And during Cold War called bipolar system, United States and the Soviet Union bloc. United States, the liberal like Canada, France, Israel, Japan, Norway, United Kingdom, and West Germany. Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, and Australia. While Soviet Union have Bulgaria, Cuba, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Hungary, Poland, Syria, etc., People's Republic of China, and North Korea. So during the Cold War, China collaborated with the Soviet Union against the US. Unipolar system, only one tiger, one mountain, only one tiger. The immediate post-Cold War era, United States, all other control all other country, or contemporary system, US hegemony, relationship to EU or People's Republic of China. International system according to religion. All religion characterize international system as anarchic. No authority exists about the state which is sovereign. Each state must therefore look out for its own interests above all. Polarity system. Polarity refers to the number of bloc or state that exert power in the international system. There are three types of polarity. Multipolarity, if there are a number of influential actors in the international system, a balance of power or multipolar system is formed. In the balance of power system, the essential norms of the system are clear to each of the state actors. In classical balance of power, the actors are exclusively state. There should be at least 5 of them. If an actor does not follow this norm, the balance of power system may become unstable. When alliances are formed, they are formed for a specific purpose, have a short duration, and shift according to advantage rather than ideology. Bipolarity. In the polar system of the Cold War, each of the blocs, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization of NATO and the Warsaw Pact. Warsaw Pact means the Soviet Union bloc, NATO, Europe, the Western European bloc during the Cold War, sought to negotiate rather than fight, or to fight minor wars rather than major ones, and to fight major war rather than fail to eliminate the rival bloc. Alliances tend to be long-term based on relatively permanent, not-shifting interest. In a Thai bipolar system, international organizations neither do not develop or are ineffective. In a looser system, international organizations may develop primarily to mediate between the two blocks. Number 3. Hegemony. One state that commands influence in the international system. Immediately after the Gulf War in 1991, many states grew concerned that international system had become unipolar with no effective counterweight to the power of the United States. System management and stability really do not agree among themselves on how polarity matters. Bipolar systems are very difficult to regulate formally, since neither uncommitted state nor international organizations are able to direct the behaviors of either of the two blocks. Informal regulation may be easier. Kenneth Walsh argued that the bipolar system is the most stable structure in the long run because there is a clear difference in the amount of power held by the two poles as compared to that held by the rest of the state actor pole จึง Kenneth Walsh ក៏ support ប្រព័ន្ធមួយដែលមានមហាអំណាចពីរធ្វើមានស្ថិរភាព John Mearsheimer suggests that the world will miss the stability and predictability that the Cold War forged. He argues that more conflict pairs would develop and hence more possibilities for war. Theoretically, in multipolar system, the regulation of system stability ought to be easily done in bipolar system. Under multipolarity, numerous interactions take place among all the various parties, and there is less opportunity to dwell on the specific relationship, dwell on and live on, or respond to an arms built up by just one party in the system. Advocates of unipolarity, advocates mean supporters, known as hegemonic stability series claim that unipolarity leads to the most stable system. Paul Kennedy argues that it was the hegemony of Britain in the 19th century and that of the United States after World War II that led to the greatest stability. When the hegemon loses power and declines, then system stability is jeopardized. Jeopardize means destroyed or endangered. Destroy, okay, jeopardize. International system of the 21st century is confronted by a unique problem. The United States dominate both military and economically. What application of such a world? Will it lead to international peace? Release an international system changes in either the numbers of main actors or the relative power or relationship among the actors may result in a change in the international system. Wars are usually responsible for changes in power relationships. An example of a system change occurred at the end of World War II. The war brought in the demise of Great Britain and France, and signaled an end to Germany and Japan imperial aspiration. The United States and Soviet Union emerged into dominant position. The multipolar world had been replaced by bipolar one. Robert Gilpin see another form of change where states act to preserve their own interests and thereby change the system. Such changes occur because states respond at different rates to political, economic, and technological developments. Exogenous changes, exogenous means external changes, external outside changes, may also lead to a shift in the system. Advances in technology not only have expanded the boundaries of accessible geographic space but also brought about changes in the boundaries of the international system. With these changes came an explosion of new actors. Nuclear warfare has had more of an impact on the international system more than any other technological change. Although these weapons have not been used since 1945, the weapon remain much feared, and efforts by non-nuclear states to develop such weapons or threat to do so has met sharp resistance. The nuclear states do not want to change in the status quo and do not want them in the hands of rogue states. Rogue state means aggressive or rude state. In the view of release, international system can change, yet the inherent bias and release interpretation is for continuity. International system according to liberal. International system is not central to the view of liberal. Thus, there are three different conceptions of the international system, not as a structure but as a process in which multiple interaction occur among different parties and where various actors learn from the interaction. One actor include not only state but also international governmental organization, non-governmental organization, multinational corporation, and sub-state actors. Number two, each actor has interaction with all of each other. Thus, a great many national interests define the system, including economic and social issues, and not just security. 3. Robert Galbraith and Joseph Nye described the international system as an interdependent. There are multiple channels connecting states and multiple issues and agenda arise in the interdependent system. The three different concepts of the international system from liberal and English traditional international society and international society, the very actors communicate and consent to common rule and decision and recognize common interest. One actor share a common identity, a sense of witness. Without such an identity, a society cannot exist. Number two, this conception has normative implication. International system is an arena and process for positive interactions. And another one in which each individual state acts in its self-interest. This is also called neoliberal institutionalism, a view that comes closer to realist thinking. One, but unlike many religions, they see the products of the interaction among actors as a potentially positive one, where institutions created out of self-interest so to moderate state behavior. Liberal and international system changes come from several sources. One, changes occur as the result of exogenous technological development. Exogenous means outside or external technological change and development. There is process occurring independently. Examples are communication and transportation systems. Number two, change may occur because of changes in the relative importance of different issues areas. In the last decades of the 20th century, the economic issues replaced national security issues. Globalizing issues such as human rights may assume primacy in the 21st century. 3. Change may occur as new actors, including multinational corporations and non-governmental organizations, augment or replace state actors. Stratification of the international system. So see the classes of international system. We have here hierarchy. The top are the developed country, the only very few states. Yes, they got like disproportionate share of resources, like they hold a lot of resources, like the United States, Japan, and Germany, the world top economic country. And the middle one are emerging countries like Brazil, Mexico, South Africa, Argentina, and China. And developing countries like us, there are many states, but got very few states, such as Senegal, Bangladesh, Haiti, Syria, the Philippines. International system according to the radical. Radicals seek to describe and explain the structure of the system in terms of stratification with classes and uneven distribution, uneven smart people among different groups of states. The system is stratified according to which state have vital resources. From the stratification of power and resources comes the division between the haves, characterized by the north and the have-nots position in the south. Have and the have-not អ្នកមាន និងអ្នកអត់ អ្នកមានគឺនៅប្រទេសដែលស្ថិតនៅប៉ូលខាងជើង និងអ្នកអត់នៅប៉ូលខាងត្បូង Economic disparity are built into the structure and all action are constrained by this structure. The indication of stratification implication មាន problem បញ្ហាឬក៏ផលវិបាកដែលបានមកពីការបែងចែកវណ្ណៈសង្គម When the dominant power are challenged by those states just beneath them in terms of access to resources, the system may become highly unstable. The rising powers seek their higher status and are willing to fight wars to get it. Tall powers may begin a war to quell the threat, to end the threat. For Marxists, crippling stratification in the system is caused by capitalists. Capitalism dominates international institutions whose rules are structured by capitalist states to facilitate capitalist processes. Multinational corporations, MNC, whose headquarters are in capitalist states but whose losses or activity are independent states. Radical believe that the greater amount of resentment with unhappy sadness, will be felt in a system where stratification is most extreme. The call for the new international economic order in the 1970s was voiced by radical and liberal reformers in most developing countries. They sought changes such as debt forgiveness, how commodity were priced, and control on multinational corporation. Constructivism and international system change. Constructivists argue that the whole concept of an international system is a European idea. Nothing can be explained by material structure alone. Martha Finmore suggests that there have been different international orders with changing purposes. Constructivists believe that what does change are social norms. Social norms change through both action of the collective and through individuals. Norms may change through action, but most likely they will change through international institutions, law, and social movements. Contending perspective on the international system. So we have an idea from realism, liberalism, radicalism, and constructivism. So from the idea of realism, they view that characterization kind of anarchic, liberalism, three liberal interpretation, interdependent, international order, and neoliberal institutionalism. From radicalism, kind of highly stratified. Characteristic means highly stratified by Jaipana. So, constructivism, international system exists. In our born of the mean as social construct. Actor to onក្នុងការទំនាក់ទំនងវិញ realism ខាងពុទ្ធនិយម state is primary actor liberalism ខាងសេរីនិយម state តួអង្គមានរដ្ឋមាន international governmental institutions ស្ថាប័នរដ្ឋាភិបាលចម្រុះដូចជាអាស៊ានដូចជា EU ជាដើម NGO sub state actor តួអង្គរាយរងផ្សេងទៀត radicalism ការទស្សនៈបែបពឹងគ្នាទៅវិញទៅមកឬក៏ radicalism ជ្រុលនិយម capitalist state versus developing state ថាវណ្ណៈមួយធនប្រឆាំងគ្នាទៅនឹងប្រទេសអភិវឌ្ឍនេះទុនកម្មករឆាំងគ្នា constructivism ខាងស្ថាបនានិយម individualism សំខាន់ឲ្យអភិភាពទៅលើ individualism ទៅដល់គោលសំខាន់ no differentiation between international and domestic ណាมันមានស្តង់ដារពីរមានការបែងចែករវាងស្តង់ដាររដ្ឋនិងស្តង់ដាររដ្ឋអន្តរជាតិទេឲ្យតម្លៃដូចគ្នាសម្រាប់សហប្រតិបត្តិការអន្តរជាតិឬក៏ទំនាក់ទំនងអន្តរជាតិ constraint និយាយពីកំហិតវិញrealism ខាង polarity distribution of power ចឹងខាង realism វាចែកពូលនយោបាយ realism interdependent institution ពឹងផ្អែកគ្នាទៅវិញមកលក្ខណៈជាស្ថាប័ន radicalism ឬក៏ dependency theory គឺស្ដីនៃការពឹងគ្នាទៅវិញមកគឺមានមូលធននិយមនិងបែងចែកវណ្ណៈ constructivism គឺ ongoing interaction ការវិស័យអន្តរកម្មកើតមានជាហូរហែជាបន្តបន្ទាប់ possibility of change និយាយពីលទ្ធភាពនៃការកែប្រែផ្លាស់ប្ដូរវិញ realism ពុទ្ធនិយមគឺ slow change when the balance of power shift នៅពេលដែលមានការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរអំណាចគឺដូរទៅយឺតដល់សេរីនិយមវិញគឺ low possibility of radical change លទ្ធភាពនៃការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរដោយឆាប់រហ័សគឺមានភាពតិចតួចយឺត constant incremental change as actor are involved in new relationship គេថាការប្រែប្រួលការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរនៅតែមានជាហូរហែទៅចឹងគណៈដែលរដ្ឋមានតំណែងគ្នាដូចជាវិវត្តនៃការកើតចាស់ឈឺស្លាប់គឺប្រែប្រួលជាបន្តរហូតវិវត្តនៃការកើតចាស់ឈឺស្លាប់គឺប្រែប្រួលបន្តរហូតហើយទ្រឹស្ដីសេរីនិយម radicalism radical change desire but limited by capitalist structure ការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរយ៉ាងឆាប់រហ័សអាចចង់បានគឺឲ្យគេចង់បានប៉ុន្តែរបារារាំងដោយវណ្ណៈមូលធននិយម constructivism ថាស្ថាបនានិយម emphasis on change in social norm and identity ផ្ដោតលើការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរដែរតែផ្លាស់ប្ដូរនៅក្នុងទម្លាប់សង្គមនិងអត្តសញ្ញាណមុខមាត់អត្តសញ្ញាណខាងស្ថាបនានិយម Advantages and disadvantages of international system at a level of analysis. Advantages allow comparison and contrast between systems. Number 2, comprehensiveness. It enables scholars to organize the seemingly disjoint parts into a whole. Number 3, system theory is a holistic approach, although it cannot provide description of even at the micro level. It does allow plausible explanation at the more general level. For release, generalization provide fodder for prediction. For liberal and radical, this generalization have normative implications. Disadvantages. The emphasis at the international system revolve mean that the staff of politics is often neglected, while the generalizations are broad and obvious. Number 2, the testing of system series is very difficult. Most series are constrained by a lack of historical information. Thus, the ability to test specific hypotheses over a long time period is restricted. 3. The problem of boundary. Thus, the notion of the international system mean the political system. What factors lie outside the system? What shapes the system? 4. The idea of a single international system is largely creation of European thought. It may be better to think of multiple international system over time. 1. Greater China. Number 2. The Myanmar as a community of Muslims. In sum up from international system state. Disadvantages. All theoretical approaches, release and radical pay more attention to the international system of analysis. For release, the defining characteristic is polarity การចែក pole នយោបាយសម្រាប់ទ្រឹស្ដីជាក់ស្ដែងនិយម For radicality stratification សម្រាប់ទ្រឹស្ដីនៃជ្រុលនិយមវិញគឺវណ្ណៈសង្គម Constructivist សម្រាប់ស្ថាបនានិយម emphasize how changes in norm and ideas shape the system ផ្ដោតទៅលើការប្រែប្រួលទៅលើទម្លាប់និងគំនិតដែលមានឥទ្ធិពលទៅលើប្រព័ន្ធ Seeing the role differentiation between the international and domestic system and eschewing the important attached to the international system structure. Strain are viewed by release as positive, by radical as negative, and by liberal as neutral, as an arena and process for interaction. Thank you very much for watching.